Thanks.
Hello, chat. How's it going today? Much later than usual today. Yeah, sorry about that. I needed to talk with the girlfriend about some things. It was 100% me. But everything's fine. We're basically going to have a pretty busy slate tonight. I missed the event window for the Times mission. Which Times mission are you referring to? There's a whole bunch of missions at the moment. Yeah, you're referring to the event one? That one I'm unsure of. Like the one that's actually in Witch of the Holy Night. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Hello, chat. How's it going? Hope everybody's doing good. Let me actually zoom in the camera a little bit here since it's pretty far out. That's not the correct. There we go. Oh my god, it goes closer. Okay, we don't need to go that close. um Boost the sharpness just a tad as well. Okay. Yesterday's is at 1 a.m. Eastern time, so I ran each once before bed. I was 100% in bed before that point. I'm also having a problem with stream not loading. Should be. I don't see any issues on my end. Yeah, I'm able to load my own stream, so. Maybe the ad blocker. Yeah, it's absolutely possible. Okay. Era's already perfect. Oof. Just Draco to go, and I have every Nero perfect. Nice. Yeah, let me double check because this is what I thought you were referring to was like the limited missions on this side of things, which to be fair, this is JP at the moment. I'm also not entirely sure. I assume some of this is like the NA ones where I just need to like roll the FP and invite a friend. So that's something I can definitely do. This is JP, we're almost done entirely with the event. Actually, let me real quick try to finish off these last little building projects, and then I should just have whatever's left in the shop. Quite liking the NA event. The NA event's fun. I think my only complaint is very obvious. It's just how long the story chapters individually are. Okay, that literally disconnected my... Actually, that doesn't seem right. There we go. No motivation to do the event on JP. I always do every rerun. So don't get me wrong, right? I understand why a rerun is boring to people, but chat, broaden your perspective, if you will. A rerun is free real estate. What do I mean? It is literally free materials as long as you do it. Why is it free? Well, it takes AP to do the node. Surely that doesn't sound like it's free. Yeah, it actually is when you consider the sheer breadth of what you're going to be getting for the AP spent. That's where you have to start thinking outside the box and say, "Hey, yeah, no, like wait, this is actually worth. Maybe I should do this." Just gives a break to play other games. Like I said, I never really have a hard time keeping up with an event that's a rerun. Usually that's pretty easy. Better bond framing? You mean far? I'm just shy of having enough for that. There's one more. I literally need 100 more of the yellow. I literally have just been sitting on the 90 plus plus, of which I will show you guys what I'm currently running. I'm debating if I want to switch over, but I basically been taking max con bonus, but this is my composition. It works. It's fantastic. Unless the resource is QP and tickets, no need. That's fine. I do understand the mentality of saying, like, hey, I don't need more than I already have. I do expect that they will continue the game and that they will keep doing stuff. Whether or not the game has more, how should I put it, like more story content into the future and it's gripping and everyone's loving it to the same degree that they have in the past, that's something obviously no one can answer. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they're done with development for the game. I literally am assuming that there will be other systems that they're going to put in the game, other things that will require resources. Have I read OC2 yet? No, I literally have not had the time. To be fair, chat, literally in the middle of tax season right now. Again, obviously, going on dates and stuff, which yesterday we went to go see Project Hail Mary in movie theaters, and it was fantastic. I highly recommend it. If you guys have not seen that movie, it's great. It's a sci-fi movie starring Ryan Gosling. It has some sad moments to it and things where you're really like on pins and needles, but it is, honest to God, I would almost qualify it as a comedy. That's how much I laughed at the movie and how great of a time I had with it. It is truly a good movie to go see. So, again, I don't know how much longer it'll be in theaters, because I did see it's an Amazon movie, I guess. So eventually it'll probably come to Prime Video. But if you guys get the opportunity to, watch it. Again, absolutely fantastic movie. It's a movie called Project Hail Mary. I wonder when NA will finally get the account linking. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at anniversary this year. I think we caught the NA staff off guard, and they didn't realize that that was something that we wanted. Which is, on one hand, I understand. On the other hand, it's kind of laughable to me if that's the case. Like, I truly don't know how the NA staff would not realize that this was a big deal. Like, getting Saint Courts at discount, getting account binding so you don't lose your account if you drop your phone in a lake or some shit. Like, to me, it really seems like a no-brainer. Plus, it works for them. They actually get to make more money off of that. So I, like, literally, if I'm the NA staff, that would have been my, like, mission number 1 to implement. As a, like, hey, look, JP bosses, we're making even more money. But I also understand that some of that stuff probably has to go through the JP side of things. Plus, with regards to it being a website, it most certainly has like legalese and red tape attached to it. So I don't think it's an easy thing to do. And that's probably why now that they realize it, it's still taking some time. Lying in bed just to get it all out, what's in my head, and I a little peculiar. So I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Yeah. Hey, yeah. I'm sorry, I can't not do the He-Man version of the song. Anyways, have you been at this moment? I'm slightly bashing my head, wrapping my mind around OBS and putting stuff into it. OBS is a fickle beast. So yes, I get that. Planning to see it this weekend? Good, yeah. It's a fantastic one. But yeah, like I said, so it's just for me, I haven't really had the time to read OC2. I haven't like felt a big need to either. There's not really a whole lot coming up in the short term that it's like a requirement for. I'm gonna actually bifurcate the two noble phantasms here, but it's certainly something I want to get around to do. I've always heard good things about OC2. And again, like, we're here, we're playing Witch of the Holy Night. I've been reading through Witch of the Holy Night as best I can. I think I'm still behind on the story because I'm like only to like section 3 and I'm locked out of section 3 right now because I don't have the points. So if I have to, I'll pop apples. If they do that song in the live action He-Man movie, it'd be funny AF. They freaking better. I did hear that apparently we got to hear Skeletor's voice finally, because for those of you guys that don't know, the new He-Man movie, Skeletor is voiced by Jared Leto. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, not Jared Leto. How many of you done the Olga fight tonight? I also haven't done that. Technically, I think you only have to have attempted it to get the quartz. So I will probably throw a party at it just for that mission reward. And we'll do it at a later date. You just need to do one arrow, not even the fight. That's actually hilarious. Jared Leto is the Grim Reaper of films. And it's funny because I feel like he actually could work as Skeletor, but he needs that, like, snarky, like, tangy voice that Skeletor has. That, yeah! Like, he's got to have the, like, comic book villain voice. And I don't feel like Jared Leto can actually do that. I think he's going to take the role super serious, and that's going to kill it. Because Skeletor should absolutely be snarky and stupid and hilarious. Mark Hamill's Skeletor was really good. Yeah. Doing the story now before Olga gives you the mission. Don't even have to attempt. Okay, perfect. Granted, that is yet another thing I have to read, but them's the breaks. Like right now, FGO is just a shit ton of reading for whatever reason. And that's the honest to gods, that's the thing I do not have the time to do. I can play FGO, I can keep up to date on everything. Reading, that's a little bit more difficult. Okay, that's JP done. I'm excited for The Boys. I'll be honest, I haven't cared too much about The Boys the last like season. And I not to get too deep into this, but I low key dislike shows trying to make modern political commentary. And that 100% is what the writers are saying that they're doing with the show. Like they have straight up said that that's what they're doing with it. And that is not what the original intent of The Boys was, which is hilarious to me. Like, and when I say The Boys, I mean like the actual like novels that it's based off of. Not that that person probably doesn't have political leanings, but just in the sense of I really don't need yet another show going, "Oh, hey, are you aware of current political situation?" No. No, I wasn't. Please educate me. If I was unaware, I wouldn't realize it's a thing. And if I was aware, I wouldn't care what the show said. So I think that is why so many shows that try to do that fail. Because I truly don't believe that people care, and it ends up just distracting from literally the actual plot of the show. Yeah, The Boys, according to the comics, is a like huge difference. Now, in some of the cases, I think the original guy that wrote it wanted it to be that way, but in other cases, I'm literally three shy. God damn it. Okay. Mr. Bob, thank you for the 83. Appreciate it, my dude. Soon TM. Wait, what? Soon to what? So I'm at 3,000 Exorcist points. I have a new node to do. I just unlocked the level 60. But I cannot progress the story because I need number 12 and 331, which absolutely is already the case. So what's number 12? Obtain a total of 4,000 exorcism points. Well, that just freaking sucks. Of which, if I could complete any of these, they would immediately complete it. Looks like I need Berserker enemies, Heaven attribute, Demonic, Chaotic, Lawful, Neutral, Male. 15 enemies in the Endless Holloway free quest. I don't know which one that is. That's this one. Sweet, let's go do it. Unfortunately, I've not been paying attention, so that's the level 60. This should be the 50. What was the 50 dropping? 50 was bronze and silver. That logically means that this is silver and gold. Which means that it's silver primary. Means that Digi will do. And we'll just straight up run this. No, I have not rolled Aoko, chat. Yeah, all we gotta do. I'm not averse to politics and shows. Case in point, Game of Thrones, plenty of political intrigue there, just not current day, please. Yeah, I actually agree with that. I'm straight up like, you want to put like political drama in your show? That's fine. Trying to make it an analog to current events, and like for instance, chat, there are parallels in Star Wars to politics. Those parallels are like again, like the Ewoks on Endor and it being like the Vietnam War, or the fact that the Republic is basically the Roman Empire, right? Those are real world analogs, but they're not trying to make commentary on current day stuff. There's a difference between taking inspiration from politics and history and trying to make it about politics, like current politics. And that's usually where I draw the line. That's why, like, again, I watched the last season of The Boys, but I actually felt like it was just not as good. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of committed at this point, and I maybe will watch the show just to see its ending. But I really just have not cared for it as of the last season. So I'm hoping that that they don't make it as bad as last season, but I'll wait and hear from other people's opinions on that. Is Nasu the writer for this event? Yes. Yeah, Nasu straight up wrote this basically to be a Witch on the Holy Night sequel. Got her in 3, nice. And then I choose to ignore it instead. Yeah, that's always people's I think like prerogative, right? You definitely don't have to watch something that is trying to like tie into current stuff. Some people will. Some people will love it. Other people just will be like, no, no thanks, I'm good. Where are you in the Doctor Who series? We're not that far. We haven't gotten to watch too much, and I was actually just talking to her about it today. So the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is coming out, I think in is it May, Chad, or June? I don't remember. But I want to because she apparently watched like the first season of the Mandalorian, and I want to sit down with her and rewatch that and watch through seasons 2 and 3 to get her like set up for watching the movie. Which Doctor? I'm with Tenet. I'm only like 3 to 4 episodes into Tenet. Now, what I will do, if I have it, chat, because I do like me some Aoko, I will throw a single at her. Yoink. Come on, Aoko, or a craft essence. Damn. Did you pick up the tickets for the monthly shop? That's a good question. Let me go check. I probably haven't yet. Yeah, especially considering I hadn't bought that. Part of the reason I haven't bought all the stuff is because my mailbox is particularly full at the moment. I actually need to like level somebody. Give me the dialogues until I finish reading the VN. That's fair. So far from what I've read, there's not like spoilers, but I can't promise that that won't be the case by the end. Okay. Yeah, it looks like if I just progress. So I have let some AP rot during this event. So I think what I'll do is I'll at least run this like once or twice more, and I'll go see if I need to go run any of the other nodes for missions. You'll also need to watch Book of Boba Fett, as it's basically season 2.5. You actually really don't. Like, there's one episode from Book of Boba Fett you need to watch. Only one. Which is kind of hilarious to me. Alright, I keep thinking this is a plug suit comp, and it's not. Yoink. I forgot about Robin yapping in the shop. Yeah. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying the event. Like, the story is actually hilarious. Well, I just realized Tennant was in is it Order of the Phoenix? Chat? Goblet of Fire, thank you. Gabo Fioruto. Ah, yes. Oh, the Harry Potter movie. Yeah, yep. Also, again, I'm sorry for being late today, chat. I know. But if I do post on the schedule and I am running late and you're like, where is Cad? We haven't heard him, like, we haven't heard from him. He hasn't gone live, but he hasn't posted anything. I will always post if I'm going to cancel stream. So please accept my apologies, but understand that if you haven't heard from me, it just means I'm running late. That's unfortunately all I can say on that front. Bronze Foot. I had to think of the name. Yeah. I didn't realize it was him in the fourth movie. Yep. Yeah, it's funny though, on both NA and JP, I'm using a Tamamo comp right now. I went from like not using her for a long time to now all of a sudden she's getting used simultaneously on both servers. And it's not out of like lack of desire to, just out of a sense of like sometimes I go with whatever the easiest composition is, and Tamamo works here. But Cad Castoria killed Tamamo. Yeah, and that's like, I understand why people say that. It just, to me, I've always been of the opinion that it's like, no, you can get away with using a lot of units, and Tamamo's not in a bad position. Like, for instance, I would 10 times rather be Tamamo than Nightingale. Nightingale, her entire gimmick is something that is largely defunct in the game now. So that doesn't feel good, right? Like, that's one where I'm like, okay, obviously I understand when people don't want to use that, where they just use her as a buff stick. So to me, I would rather end up doing other stuff. Logres killed Tamamo. Oh boy. On a milk carton with missing, yes. And hello, how's it going, Bear? Hope everybody's been doing good. I know I haven't been streaming as much. I know you guys haven't gotten to catch up with me as much as well. But this is something that I feel like will get better with tax season kind of wrapping up here in the next 2 weeks. So I am hopeful to be able to get you guys a little bit more stream time, but also at the same time, I'm also just going to be happy to have a little bit of time off from work and not to actually have to like go kind of crazy about stuff. So with that in mind, I am thinking about like a trip for this summer. I've been talking with a girlfriend about it. I'm not sure 100% on where we're going to go. There is a location that we are currently looking at, but we're trying to work out all the kinks on that right now. He was Birdie Crouch Jr., if I remember correct. Yes. Okay, let's see what that did for event missions. The Forge only went through 5k iron reinforcements? Yeah. It does that when you start crafting in the thousands. I'm going to be 100 exorcism points short. Son of a bitch! Okay, I still have to do at least one more run here. Oh shit! I forgot the launch happened. I literally, where I live, I could have seen it and I forgot it was a thing. So how did the launch go, chat? For anyone that's unaware, the Artemis 2 launch, I think at like 6. And basically it's on its trip to the moon. No issues? Nice. Cat was not a rocket man today. It's so funny because I heard about it multiple times today. I had several people remind me about it, and then I just fucking forgot. But I'm so happy because, like, I've heard, and again, not to get too in on Elon here, but like, I've heard Elon talk about going to Mars, and I'm not an expert, okay? But I have at least watched a lot of stuff talking about space exploration and some of the things that we need to do and some of the stuff that we'd help with. And one of the big ones that really stuck with me, and I remember this, was a guy that was sitting there saying, hey, look, if we want to go to Mars, the first thing that we should do, because this is the smartest, is we should build a moon base. And it had a lot of thought put into it, including how would you build a moon base and how would that work? And that video is exactly all the stuff that SpaceX is doing now, which is hilarious to me. But essentially the idea was, and let me see if I can enable it here. So the idea was that trying to go from Earth all the way up here to Mars, okay? I know it's behind chat, I'm sorry. Trying to go all the way to here means you have to leave Earth's atmosphere. This drastically increases fuel costs, okay? Drastically, because it increases the amount that you have to get to Mars. The idea behind building a moon base is that instead you only need the fuel to get to the moon. So leaving the atmosphere of Earth to go to the moon, a lot less fuel requirement there than compared to leaving the atmosphere and then having to go all the way to Mars. Because the difference is with the moon doesn't really have much of an atmosphere. It's a lot lower, and therefore there's a lot less friction. There's a lot more of an easier time for you to gain momentum. Plus, again, things like slingshotting do exist. So the idea being that if you establish a moon base, you can much more easily go to Mars without ever having to worry about the atmosphere problem and the fuel problem as much. And the idea behind it was, again, that you would also gain benefits from having a permanent location that is 0G, where you can run all these experiments, where you can do all this stuff and actually process and build things in a vacuumed or space environment. And how they proposed getting off the moon to go to Mars was a mass driver. If you guys don't know what a mass driver is the idea that as you have a planet's surface, you continue to build a straight line up from the thing, basically almost like it's a ramp. And the mass driver goes for miles. But basically, think of it like almost like a rubber band toy, where it's like, you have one of those like fake guns that uses rubber bands. It's the exact same concept. It's just going to fire it like a slingshot just straight off. So, but the idea is that, again, way less friction. So instead of having to thrust your way off of a planet out of the atmosphere, you're instead just slowly accelerating until you drift into space. So, actually a great idea. And that's apparently what they're going to do. And it's hilarious because all of this came from like this one YouTube video that I watched of this guy saying like, hey, look. And to be fair, he was somebody that like, I don't think he was a NASA scientist, but I think he was some sort of physicist. I don't remember. And he was talking about like, these are all the things that you would need to do to be able to make this work. And the way he was approaching it was from this, the all-important metric. He said, how would you make it cost affordable? How would you do this? You would establish a moon base first. That would drastically cut down on fuel costs, because fuel is the dominant cost of any sort of like space travel or space flight. They wanted to use moon rock to produce fuel, or was that water and O2? Yes. Okay, so this is another thing. For those of you guys that don't know, the sun is a deadly laser. So you are here. Okay, this is planet Earth, and this is the moon. The moon also gets hit by the deadly laser, but our atmosphere protects us from the deadly laser. The moon does not have much of an atmosphere, so the moon does not get protection from the deadly laser. Okay? So the idea behind this is that you're going to get a lot more radiation on the moon. Everything on the moon is irradiated by the sun. So how do you survive? How do you live on the moon? Well, that's simple. Chat. How do you survive nuclear fallout? How do you like continue to live on a planet that has like dropped a bomb, okay, and made it unlivable? Underground, right? Yeah. For those of you guys that have seen the Fallout show, you have fallout shelters. You literally burrow yourself underground. Same concept. So what you do, the irony here is while the entire surface of the moon is made up of what is known as regolith, it is all irradiated. However, it's also a great protection against radiation. So basically, you just burrow into the regolith. And what you're going to do is you're going to make basically radioactive resistant bunkers so that you can go down in there and kind of burrow in, and that'll help you out. This is also really interesting from the standpoint of what actually makes up the regolith, if I remember correctly, is predominantly... I keep wanting to say steel. It's not steel. Because steel is an alloy. It's not iron. Is it aluminum, chat? For anyone else that watched the same thing that I watched, or happens to be a NASA level scientist, basically the idea behind it is that there is metal on the moon, okay? In the regolith, in the actual rocks that comprise the moon, is full of metals. That metal, when you heat it up, produces steam because there is also hydrogen in the regolith. Thereby, when you actually melt it down, your byproduct is going to be the metal, which you can use for building materials. And H2O. You will get water. Yeah, let me actually look it up just so I'm not... Okay, so lunar regolith is made of silicon dioxide, aluminum oxide, iron oxide, calcium oxide, and magnesium oxide. And if I remember correctly, it basically goes that like by processing the regolith, your byproduct is water and oxygen, I think. Like, so literally the idea being that the moon base can actually self-sustain and would actually end up paying for itself after a number of years because it effectively just massively expounds the amount of like metal available. Moon economics, yeah. So that is the idea, is that like you drastically cut down on fuel costs. And while yes, there is a temporary expenditure to create your moon base, that eventually production becomes online and you start making money off of the moon base instead. Plus, that's discounting any sort of like tourism. So that is to say, giving people space flights for money, or letting people visit the moon and seeing what you're doing there and charging them an arm and a leg for it. So like, yes, there would be other revenue streams potentially as well. On top of like maybe the moon base is eventually a colony and that's how you get to Mars. And then all of a sudden someone develops a Gundam. We all start being hateful towards each other because we start calling, people Martians and Spacians and all these other weird slurs that we would have for each other. And then naturally we start a war in which we make teenagers fight for us. I'm just kidding. Bloody moon people, aye. I mean, that is where the word loony comes from, is from loon, from Luna, from the moon. So CZ was saying that, is it 20 something? If you do not want to see me again, I would understand. All right, chat, we got to read. We're going to read fast. Everybody got your reading glasses on? Char and MRO have a bromance, exactly. Don't forget people born on the moon to have less dense bones. I often wonder about that. I feel like something like that might happen over generations, but certainly not like with the first child. I guess like it would depend if you were born on the moon and lived on the moon and never left the moon, and there was no sort of simulated gravity. But actually, whatchamacallit, Project Hail Mary kind of talks about that like the way that you create gravity in space is centrifugal force. So how would a moon base have that? That I don't know. But we'd also probably get to finally get some like actual data on like what's it like when a person lives in space for multiple years. Granted, we already kind of have that data thanks to, I believe, one of the ISS astronauts got stranded for like a year and a half. Do you have to do anything special to get the courts from the April Fool's soccer game thing? Oh, was that a thing? I totally forgot about that. I don't think you do. I think they literally just give you the courts. You don't even have to download it. Oh, because such a fun unit to use. Yeah, she's basically 5-star Jekyll and Hyde. Like, she's way better than Jekyll and Hyde. But the unfortunateness is that she is restricted by the way that her Noble Phantasm works. And if she wasn't restricted, dear lord. Being a Shisho face is nice too. I mean, however you want to justify it. Technically, Shisho is an Aoko face, but let's not get into that. Like a log and a baby log. They're not in space anymore and just drop stuff? Yeah. Build space fleets, go to war over space noid rights, evolve into a species of space psychics, go through 3 major wars, have multiple colony drops, and have the Messiah of a New Age use a psychic robot to save us from an asteroid by overloading psychic power with shared human will. Nah. That'll never happen. I mean, I don't know how closely you guys follow the like UFO stuff. I usually don't, but admittedly, I find it interesting that I guess like they're actually planning to declassify all the stuff. And man, have I seen some like crazy shit already based off that. I've seen people like claiming that like basically there's like an alien breeding program and they've already been here for like decades, and it's like, oh fuck. Now, I don't actually think any of that shit's true, but it's hilarious to see what the internet will cook up. However, if we have an alien hybrid, my money is on Mark Zuckerberg being one. Isn't that a tad too obvious? No, I mean it kind of fits, right? Like what if like just for a minute here, what if aliens came to Earth and there was a breeding program and they had already made a hybrid? Doesn't it make sense that the guy that invents social media is part alien? Like it's a lot of what ifs. But when you set those things into place, you're like, wait a minute. Sounds like you need to watch Species, Cad. Is Species the one where it's like the alien can transform into a woman? And it's totally a ripoff of the Alien series? Sexo? Okay. Ever listened to Art Bell? He made a living pushing this stuff. No, I'm like I said, I'm not a big if anything, I'm an alien skeptic at this point. Mostly because science seems to be indicating that like humanity is really fucking unique and that like we're really fucking lucky. Like I've heard some recent theories saying that apparently people think that like the Big Bang didn't actually happen because, and I'm trying to summarize from what I remember. But I basically believe it was that like if the Big Bang actually occurred, that the idea is that everything radiates out from the point of origin, right? And what they said is that unfortunately they're finding evidence that is contrary to that. So they're finding some things where it's like, and they're like, wait a minute. How does that work, right? Like, so, and I don't remember if it's because like the heat differentials or something. I can't freaking remember. And there's multiple big bangs. Yeah, like, but the idea being that the Big Bang as a theory is predicated on the idea that there was one. So if there's multiple, that's a new theory already, right? Math tells us others should exist, but it's so unlikely we will never meet each other. Right. Yeah. And that therein kind of creates a problem of like um of like even if math indicates that there is one, we are refining our science so much to the degree that we're learning that like at least the conditions for life like us are extremely slim. We functionally got lucky as a planet. So then the other question is does life exist out there, and is it in a different form than something we would understand? Like, does it not require oxygen to breathe? Is it not hydrogen based? Is it um something that literally like is single cell? Is it something that would even be able to communicate with us? Does it even exist on the same plane of existence? When they figure out string theory, it'll all work out. It's funny because I also saw someone allege that that string theory is enforced by the academic community and that nobody's allowed to like question string theory, even though string theory is not proven. That it is the explanation, and that if you try to go against it, that you will basically be ostracized and kicked out of the academic community. Which I do find interesting, because to me that doesn't sound very scientific of them. Oh yeah, like I mean, again, I'm somebody that believes in God, and I'm not gonna try to sit here and proselytize to you guys, but I can find ways at least to like logic that if there is other life out there, that God also created that, right? Like it's maybe our understanding of things is what's flawed, and that could be both scientifically and religiously. So it is what it is. Types are a perfect example of what discovering other life could be like, especially Ort. Yeah, FGO actually does a really good job of talking about like aliens. But we created gooning. What if you didn't? What if gooning was an idea that the alien breeding program put into our heads? Itishiki's so good. Yeah. Guess I failed the breeding program. No, you just weren't part of it. Silica based, methane based life, who knows? Yeah, exactly. So the idea being that like again, there are other forms. If there is life out there, it may not be life as we know it. It could be life that operates under a different set of rules. Because again, we're getting to the point that we're beginning to question some of our long held theories because they're just not adding up. We're seeing contradictory stuff. So that already is a indication that maybe we don't know everything. Maybe we don't have all the answers, and therefore maybe there is other possibilities that we have not considered, or that we considered but we threw out thinking that it couldn't be possible. They're made of meat. And no, I have not heard of it. To goon or not to goon, that is the question. True. Mission 13, I swear to God, if you tell me to get more exorcism points. Hiya! I assume I'm still not at the time gate, chat. Yeah, did you roll for Aoko? I threw a single paid quartz at it. To be fair, and I think chat kind of understands this, but I've talked about this at least a little bit before now. But that you literally just started today. What do you mean? Oh, you're saying this section, not I just started the event today. I was like, I'm so confused. No, I didn't start today. But yeah, like I think with regards to FGO, and just so that chat's aware, like obviously I have a relationship now that has expenditures and things that I need to be considering. Um, FGO is very much going to become a free to play thing for me. As somebody that has spent a lot of money in the game, I am fine. My account's good. It's relatively secure into the future. And if I do spend money, it will be very sparingly. To be fair, I've already been headed that way for a while now, mostly because a lot of the newer units that they have been putting out, I have cared less about, but also just in general because, yeah, I knew that that I didn't need more. Like my account is good enough on so many levels that unless they drastically shake up what the meta is, I really don't need to do anything. And even my JP is that way too, to a degree. So it's like they have to actually like brick some of the meta units, and I don't think anybody will be happy if they do that. So I don't think they're going to. Dad finding out his part-time gig as an exorcist now. Yeah. You get points for leveling Sonoji? Okay, that's a good idea. I'll probably do one more run here, since clearly that will finish. Antique lanterns? We'll go with that, just since I'm close to getting that. I've set limits to my spending as well. Yeah, and again, I've talked about this as well, that like with the future of the game, it's still a little bit up in the air. Like it's kind of foolish of me to just sit here spending a lot of money on it, right? Um but yeah, I think it's something where I just don't see the value for myself. I definitely have some units I still want to get, but like for instance for this year chat, that's basically like Seal and MH double XA. That's it. I like Aoko. I have Aoko on JP. I like Alice. I have Alice on JP. I don't need these units. Like they are not a unit that I like have to have. And I'll be honest, okay, not to rain on anyone's parade here, but I have used Aoko very little since getting her on JP. And that's a shame because I do like her. I do think her kit's really cool, and as a character, I like her. But actual functionality wise, it's not the easiest thing in the world to use. I have to actually set up a composition to try to use it. And that's not conducive to me using a unit very often. What about Space Ereshkigal? Space Ereshkigal is going to be a little bit more interesting. I would like to try to get her if I can, but we'll see. Obviously, summer's coming up really fast here, and you guys saw it's not like I'm sitting on a mine of quartz at the moment. But Space Erish isn't a gotta have either, technically. I have certainly used her on JP. I've used her a lot more than Aoko, but that a lot more is most of the times that I have used her, it was not a requirement for me to use specifically her. Playing an A and 2 years behind EOS announcement will essentially null my spending ASAP with 2 years of content to come. To be fair, we pretty much. So again, I had some people that got to talk with the NA staff at Anime NYC, and they at least expressed a understanding that should something happen to JP, that NA would keep going and finish the story out. So I don't know. That sounds interesting to me if that they can do that, but if that's what the staff's understanding is, that does at least help put my mind a little bit more at ease. Is Seal the easier Carter as opposed to who? The hell am I facing? We're gonna flip flop that. But yeah, I mean, it's not like you don't have time, right? I just literally my life situation is changing before our very eyes. So, of course, that's going to make me reconsider things. I'm just gonna card out this front wave. Basically, killing the monkeys is all I need to do because the monkeys steal buffs. Also funny that Karen has NP sealed here. I sparingly put money into FGO in the past year. Only GSSR has gotten to me to put money down now. GSSR is still a good value. I would still recommend GSSR and whatchamacallit, Destiny Order, because again, they are just like budget versions of that, right? But doing just a GSSR, like maybe 2 GSSRs a year and a Destiny Order a year, that's still pretty cheap. Like, obviously, that's substantive money. Okay, let me be clear here. That is still a good chunk. However, that's a pittance to what has been getting spent on this game, at least from my perspective. So to me, even stepping down to something like that, yeah, that's way cheaper. But I will try to play it mostly free to play. And from there, we'll see. JP especially, I would prefer not to spend money on if I don't have to. Though to be fair, chat, you guys have seen I've been pretty good over the past like year or so here with not having to spend money very often, because as I don't roll as many units, I don't have this like pressing need to do stuff. I'll just go for the Buster Chain. Destiny Order is a U banner. You are getting someone you want anyways. Exactly. Card saving for Erish, so functionally have been free to play for like a year. Yep. What was their April Fool's thing that they did for the game? JP made Rio art. I wish I could have shown that to you guys. I did tweet out about it because Czar basically made me aware of it. I just wish they had made that a permanent thing in the game. Like if you played during that time, all of your servants got to keep that. It's like if you're gonna go to the effort to put that into the game, allow us to have that option. And then if you want, you could maybe make it where people can toggle it off. I wish it lasted more days at least, yeah. How did you know that? Only trashy priests. Hmm. Nice seeing all the Type Moon main characters together. Yeah. Well, kind of. I can't say all the Type Moon main characters. Do we get the same hilarious servant art style, or is it only for JP? Only for JP, and it already kind of passed. We're in the 2-hour quest window. I believe it changes. He in a ditch somewhere. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I'm at 5,000 points. Don't you dare cock block me again, game. This is so much reading. Thankfully, the segments themselves are usually not that long. Yep, gotta love the West Coast time priority. It's always been that way, though. I've just kind of accepted it at this point that they will never actually shift it to benefit the majority of players. They will only benefit the West Coast. It's noon for you? Yeah. All the chapters have max nodes, pretty much. I do feel like they went all out with this and they made it feel way more like a visual novel. And that the way they handled this event is something that they talked about and they said, like, hey, yeah, we stepped it up a notch. This is something we're going to do. And then they, in fact, did not continue that. I feel like they got lazy again after this. And to be fair, when I say lazy, I don't mean like actually lazy. I mean like they stopped doing as much, and it could be for multiple reasons. Sure, being lazy might be one of them, but it could also just simply be that they don't have enough manpower, they didn't have enough time, the budget's not there. I don't know. Oh, Nana is super laggy, by the way. That's weird. Do you want me to reboot, Steve? Actually, let me double check to make sure. Yeah, there's nothing downloading at the moment. Glad it's Easter holidays. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get any time off for that due to tax season. I am going to be having Easter at my parents', and girlfriend will be joining me, so that'll be fun. Gonna get to see at least one aunt and one uncle. Yeah, I have no idea when the new node comes. I'm just trying to like catch back up to the time lock because, dear lord, I have not been caught up this whole time. And I would like to make sure that we work in a like FGO day every week. I know that's why everybody followed me. And I'm not giving up on the game. At a similar point, yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Easter taxes for. There you go. It required 5,000. Try not to destroy any of the dolls. Okay. God, dolls are so creepy, dude. Yeah, I wonder who this is. Damn. She hitting him with the cat again. Okay. Uh, cannot be set as a party member. Ooh, yikes. I don't know what class she is. All I know is I'm not supposed to hit anything else. So I'm thinking. Oh, I was like, hold on. I'm thinking we do one of these. And I don't care if I 3-turn or not. I can't believe Aoko just laughed at Alice right there. I mean, it is what it is. She basically has a cheat code, and the cheat code got invalidated. Uh, fudge. I have defense ignore, but not invuln pierce on her. So we just kind of got to go for it. Um, okay. So I have to kill them anyways. SMH game. Don't hit the puppets! Makes you kill the puppets. Are there any time gates to this event? We're trying to get to one. Gonna abuse the extra 20% charge there and get even more on Tamamo. This is I figured I should go single target to not have to hit dolls, and it just does not matter. I'll catch the VOD, no problem. Is Alice really strong in lore? Yes. Like, realistically, I feel like almost the entire cast of Witch of the Holy Night is considered lore strong. Ooh, MP loss is a little nasty. Pissing the night away. Okay, stagger the cards. Have you done a guide on this event? No, I have not. I basically did it on JP and talked about it, but I don't think I ever made a proper guide. But the idea behind it is it's a mission-based event, and you do have time limited like nodes that show up every night. Hopefully that's enough. We only have servant analysis, yes. Does Aoko need MP2 for 90 plus plus content? You're not really going to use Aoko in 90 plus plus content. Mostly due to her needing the wind up. Most people don't use her. I'm not going to say you can't, but most people don't. It's just again, general clunkiness to her. So if you get her, she's a fun unit, but to me, she's a little bit more of a challenge unit. What time are the nodes? I can't seem to find them anywhere. It's different every day. So it is a little bit more difficult in that regard. Okay, 5 more. Information, yes. Andre should have them all posted. Yeah, I didn't see if he did. But here, I'll see if I can pull it up real fast for everyone. There you go, chat. And that's all my time, so keep in mind. As for current, So, yes, in 3 hours, Haunted Parapet. Which I believe that's 3 hours and change. So I think it's 1 a.m. my time. I don't know. It's difficult to tell from this. So it looks like it is 12 a.m. To be honest, the one Friday is probably the better one. Because Friday has the new OC1 material. Same thing with Sunday. Are these just the shitty hours? Yes. That's, as chat already indicated, it's because it's on a West Coast time schedule. So things occurring at 12 a.m. are actually occurring at 9 p.m., basically evening time for West Coast. Why? Because that's the way the game always works. It always ends up always ends up favoring the West Coast time zone, much to our annoyance. So basically, playing on JP, terrible times. Playing on NA, also terrible times. And I have pointed this out numerous times. I 100% blame the NA staff for this. They actually can request to have it changed. They choose not to. It has been going on like this for years. We can't win, yeah. And I understand, like, if you're on the West Coast, you're like, well, why shouldn't we have it our way? Why should it be East Coast? And my stance is mostly because it disenfranchises everybody east of the West Coast, as opposed to people on the West Coast simply having it earlier, which all of them will still be awake during those times. So I don't feel like it's as big of an issue. Like, for instance, something happening at 9 a.m. or sorry, 9 p.m. on um on NA in the East Coast would be 6 p.m. in the West Coast. It's not crazy. Like, they're still off work at that time, assuming they work a normal schedule. If not, then it's difficult to factor in regardless of where you are. I probably should have read that, but I didn't. Yeah, I'll actually leave it at that. I don't think it's ever been that late for some major things. No, it has. And that's been my complaint every time it's happened. There's a reason the East Coast is the default for most US media. Yeah. Okay, at least charmed him. Gonna try to go for the loop. I would have missed every raid if I hadn't asked here, probably. It's all good. I didn't know the timings myself, so I'm glad that you guys are mentioning it. I hadn't, again, had the time to look it up really. Because contrary to popular belief, my time off stream is almost all occupied right now. I'll just stagger. Boom. Yeah, actually, well, yeah, I could have pre-carded, but it really wouldn't have mattered. There we go. That should give me another like 2,000 points. So hopefully that keeps me up on the schedule. Now, I guess my question in chat, I don't know, so maybe you guys know. Do I have to be at time lock to be able to do those nodes? No? Okay. Like I said, I haven't been awake to be able to do them yet anyway. Huh. She's like, what the hell? An OG, baby. Oh my god. Still two more pips. I still like Bizette's design in this game. And like, compared to Aoko, Bizette is one of those units where it's like she's 100% designed for challenge, but they fucked up and they made her too strong, and therefore she's good even at non-challenge content. Um, Same thing with Seal. Like, Bizette and Seal are very similar in that regard because they did a fucky. I'll take Aoko just for the buffage. Uh, I don't want to get eaten alive. Yeah, Sono G's a manual breather. Take it, Vault and Pierce. I didn't even see that, and I still did it. I was just like, oh, hell nah. And it's funny because I did it because I thought she would have evasion, not the other way around. Bizette needs a buff. I'd love it. When he's a berserker, though, yeah. Yeah, Fragarack this. I'll laugh if she dies because the recoil causes it. Because I can only take one more hit after this. Oh wait, no, never mind. Yeah, I should be okay. Boom, just enough. That could have been faster if I got another card on turn one, but it is what it is. 800 Sankorth, oof. Outing Bizette. Excellent. What's up, Deus? Ay, ay, ay. Waiting for Toko at this point. It'll be really interesting to see if they actually put Toko in. I hope they do. I hope they like do another thing with Witch of the Holy Night. And chat, if you think about it, it's not that surprising because we do have like the movie coming up. So I wouldn't at all be surprised to see that they held off on Toko to bring her in later. Cultured devs. Yay, yay. In the middle of the break room today? Nice. I have not watched Strange Fake yet. I actually plan to binge it now that the first season's up. But I've been trying to see if I can get my girlfriend to watch it with me. But we have been super busy. So I think at this point I might binge it on my own first. And that'll help me so that if I need to explain things to her, I can. Did I roll for Aoko? No. I basically threw a single paid at her. Like single paid courts. I wouldn't mind getting her, but she is more of a collection thing than an actual need. Has she seen any other Fate stuff? Yeah, she's seen just about everything. Live binge watch? We can't really live stream it. Like, that's the thing I hate about this sort of thing is like, I can stream myself watching it, but I can't stream it, which is so ass, right? Like, OG Hollow Outer Exia release date. Yeah. I remember talking to someone about that for the initial on JP. Dawn of the Dead. Did not expect a Dawn of the Dead reference in here. We get a Hollow Outer Exia show. I wouldn't be surprised. It could be another movie in the JP version. That is true. They may have localized it. They had timestamp to start watching, and that's how they do watch along. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be something on screen besides just me. Put doggo. I've actually had a hard time with the dog cam. It's not working because ever since I changed my internet over, I can't get it to get on the new Wi-Fi, which is kind of wild. That's why like dog cam hasn't been available for you guys. At this point, they should just stock the freaking hot springs. Ah! I swear to God, what is the new one? Like 9,000. 9,000. Actually absurd. Yeah, I still gotta combine my last remaining Valentine's Seas. You need 10k after that? Good lord. Hello, thank you for the 54. How's it going? It's always points. Yep. To be fair, as you start completing missions, it should get easier to complete subsequent ones, but yeah. Like, my problem was I think I had a good, like, 12 hours of AP rot on an A one of the days, which sucked. I don't normally have that sort of situation. But it's like, when I know that's a thing, that I will pop an apple to catch back up. I am gonna level Sun OG just so that he's in, like, the party and usable. Asaki's hogging all your resources. She can't hog my resources if I don't have her, bud. No proc, huh? Oh, where did I get all these 3 stars? I could certainly use them for that, but I really don't feel like it. I'm not exceedingly close to expiry. So we'll just pop some of these out. You get one when I leveled them up? It happens. One of the vampires that attacks you in Baldur's Gate 3 is named Aurelia. Yeah. It's really funny because it was such an uncommon name, and yet now I've seen it in like 5 or 6 different games since I started using it for the mascot. Practically full from CE experience. It's hilarious. I don't bother to micromanage my CE experience, but mostly because I don't need that much of it. And I just am sitting on a veritable horde of FP. Like, but that's, again, I'm somebody that's been leveling craft essences for years. I've been playing since year 1. It's not a big deal to me, but it is definitely more of a big deal to other people. No, Oko, what about Alice? Alice, like what? In terms of like would I roll? No, she's not really in my role plans. The most unique thing about Alice is that she is a unique form of solemn defense. It is certainly strong, but it is also not something I desperately need. It's Mr. G worth grailing. He's a good unit. Up to you. I think grailing is always in the eye of the beholder. The question is, do you want his abs? You don't want to max every C? No. I mean, that's simply not possible due to how many Cs they put in the game. But also, like, legitimately, I have seen people that have, like, actual takes like that, and it makes me laugh every time. Because they do some, like, pretty insane stuff to try to min max their FP, and it doesn't actually help. They just end up spending FP basically to make FP. Summer goals abs. I'm getting there. I don't think chat's seen me, but because I haven't like stood up. Actually, I mean, you guys can kind of see it if you look at the pictures of me at the convention that I posted before. But I'm definitely like slimming up. And actually, I actually don't think this picture is very flattering of me. So literally, like, I basically just have some muffin top left, and otherwise I've slimmed down quite a bit. Had getting healthier? I have been. I've been working out now for like 7, 8 months. Now, admittedly, I actually have stopped working out this month, but that's because of tax season. Not due to like lack of desire to. I actually do want to spend time. Nope. Nope. Nice try, fingers. You tried to make me fucking grail that man. I saw that shit. Oh, unfortunately, getting Sono G done does not award you any points. That is so ass. Okay, chat. We're going to be switching gears here. I did promise you guys a surprise. For those of you guys that like CRPGs, I was gifted a key to Solasta 2. So we're going to be checking that out. And there's the pinned comment. So, again, this is similar. Someone was bringing up Baldur's Gate 3 earlier. This is similar to Baldur's Gate 3. I played briefly the first Solasta game. Have not played since then. But I at least enjoyed the initial parts of it. I didn't get to get super deep because I think I got distracted literally by FGO. But I am interested to see how this one goes. This one kind of slipped under the radar for a lot of people. I think it came out when a lot of other stuff did. I don't know why it's still loading. It's definitely taking its sweet... Oh, it's processing shaders. That explains a lot. Good old Unreal 5 shader processing issues. I don't understand why this is such a thing, but it is. Okay. Tutorial suggestion, sure. Hide hero helmets. I can turn that off and on. Making it harder to follow what's happening. I don't care. I'll be really fast. I play enough D&D. No, don't cancel. Apply. And just briefly, let's go look at the video quality. V-Sync in a game like this doesn't seem like it does a whole lot, especially considering everything else is on this. Sure, why not? I'll turn it on. Okay, I'm familiar with Solasta or the 5e rule set, or I enjoy tactical challenges. I know the basics, but prefer slightly more forgiving experience. Yeah, why not? Authentic mode. Rules as written settings for the game is designed to offer challenge with players comfortable with Solasta systems. Explorer mode. That's interesting. Where's my super awful Destructo mode? Considering I played literally... Actually, chat, that's really loud, isn't it? Hold on. Ah, there we go. Right before that big-ass thing hit. Actually, I'm thinking let's leave that jacked, but let's turn the music volume down a tad. Since for whatever reason, music volume is stupidly loud. Wait, did that... That didn't ask me this time. Okay. It just allows me to have authentic mode. Oh, are they gonna make it so that there's different campaigns? Okay. Fate of the Coldwell family across the continent of Neokos. Starting level 1. Create my party! Unreal's a bad sign. I mean, that just is the way it is nowadays. You just have to accept the fact that some games are going to be using Unreal, which is unfortunate because I do kind of agree. I feel like the Unreal Engine, while it does have a lot of upsides, is definitely not the best for the end product. It has a lot of graphical fidelity, but at the expense of a lot of the consumer's experience. I ain't selected no damn pre-made. Okay. Class. Rogue. Oh, complexity? How you gonna say sorcerer's complex? I throw fireball. Okay? Like, that's not that complex. I actually feel like wizard's a little bit more complex. Because wizard has a little bit more mechanics going on with it. Fada, Cleric, Paladin. Frontline healer, yeah, I don't know about healer there per se. Dwarf, elf, halfling, human. So I do want to say I really truly despise the 5e rules when it comes to ancestry. So this is operating off of a little bit of the 2024 rule set, and they have mucked with this stuff to try to make it easier so that everything's more like samey across the board. I understand that, but also at the same time, like, I don't like this restriction. I get that it's a game and there has to be a lot, but I vastly prefer having a lot of options with the character creator and stuff so I can create something truly unique. When you limit me to 4 races, it doesn't feel like it feels like everything is going to be the same. So we're going to literally be a human. Why? Because I can. Because it is all that we know. Let's see what else we got here. Religion, medicine, origin feats. So yeah, there are some origin feats here. Magic Initiate Wizard, Magic Initiate Cleric. So this basically allows me to pick Cleric cantrips, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2 cantrips of your choice, which, wouldn't be the worst to have a healing cantrip off of that, but I'm already a paladin. I don't really feel like that's a big one. Insight and Persuasion. This could be decent. Origin feat skilled, so 3 skills or tools of your choice. That's not terrible. Artist. Insight, Performance, Origin feat skilled. Ascetic. Nature and Acrobatics with an Herbalism kit. And Origin feat is Robust. Hit point maximum increased by amount. Okay, that's not terrible. You become stable while unconscious at 0 HP. You immediately regain 1 HP. Okay. Strength, Constitution, Wisdom, Investigation, Perception. Origin feat Vigilant. Gain proficiency in Perception. You're already proficient, gain Expertise. Being surprised doesn't impose disadvantage on your initiative roll. That could be nice. Although, this is an interesting change for the game because I believe this is the exact same feat that my Dwarf Cleric has in my other campaign. And in that case, I simply cannot be surprised. This one says, oh, you can be surprised, just doesn't impose a penalty. Speed increases by 5 distance. Ooh. Ooh. Magic Initiate Wizard. Skilled. Ready for War. What is this one? You gain proficiency with light armor, shields, and martial weapons. That one's actually not terrible if you needed access to something, like if you were starting as a class that didn't have it. For instance, let's say you wanted a martial weapon, or you just wanted the ability to use a shield as like a caster, that would be a way to get it. Actually, I wonder if I can double dip. Wait. Actually, no, I don't think with the new 2024 rules I can do single attribute damage. Rather, I can do it, but I don't think I need to dip into Warlock to do it. Savage Attacker, Wanderer feature. Deal particularly damaging strikes once per turn. When you hit a target with a weapon, you roll the weapon's damage twice and use the best roll against the target. The fuck? That's just strong. Recommended personality outlaw. Ah, I see. I forgot. So this was the thing. I believe that they made the ancestry so that everybody had versatility. But it looks like the game didn't do that? I'm not entirely sure. I could take robust. I could take quick. Or I could take skilled or vigilant. Quick is nice. That's just more movement on average, and I literally have opportunity attacks not matter as much. Robust is just more health. Um, okay, so I usually want high charisma as a paladin. You're not gonna let me go over 15. Feels bad, man. Who even needs intelligence and wisdom, chat? It's hilarious because these sorts of things matter way more in games like this, less in other stuff. A primary ability and a primary ability. I don't like them not giving me more choices than this. That's a feels bad, man. But maybe, hold on, let's see. Weapon mastery. Creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the start of your next turn. That's actually not bad. Maybe other campaigns of other races. There's only the one campaign right now, so I assume it would be potentially they would add more, or maybe I have to unlock them. That I don't know. I think we'll go longsword. We have a one and two-handed option. Okay, so I did have more. I only can choose one here, and it's from my human ancestry. Do not like having low perception. Language, I can pick 2. Okay, common's not one of them, thank God. Elvish is usually good. I'm surprised Orc and Goblin are separate, not the same. I'll go Draconic? Spells to learn. Bless. Hashtag blessed. Yeah, bless is concentration. Let's do bonus to their AC. That's also concentration, just not worth. On save for Divine Smite, which there is no save from. Yeah, I think I'd rather do that, but it does, if you catch them on fire, you do get 1d6 basically per round. Also concentration. I think we're gonna go Divine Smite. It's either going to be Divine Favor, because it's not concentration, or Cure Wound. Divine Favor, bitches! Okay, that's all my stuff. Why... Okay. So this goes down to I'm really just not sure if I can single attribute this stuff. All I know is we are 100% changing the way I look, chat. I was gonna say, these look like female heads. Oh boy, there is nothing even remotely close to the way I look. Ape blending? Okay, that's at least not bad. We're gonna, like, maybe do that. Why do I feel female now? That Okay. There's actually a lot more here than I thought. As you guys know, I have brown eyes. So much so that they are almost black. Wrinkles. Now hold on. No. No, I ain't got no wrinkles. No, I ain't got no freckles. I could have a scar. Art? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I'd be looking like I'm about to, like, sacrifice somebody on a Incan altar. Sorry, Aztec altar. Or is it Mayan altar? I don't remember. Cuckoo. Hairstyle. Beard style. Well, hold on. Where's my hair color? Alright, chat. Which one looks more like me? None of these. None of these look more like me. Okay, that looks more like me. This actually might be the closest. Can I change the actual color? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yep. I hate this chat. Make it stop. I feel so Asian looking. Also, is there no way to like change my beard to a different color? Because my beard is actually browner than the rest of me. There we go. I thought so too. Listen. It is what it is. That's just the way they all look. They all look Asian. I don't know. We're going towards the middle. I gotta admit, for having this many style options for a character creator, it's nice, but holy shit, this face is the actual problem. Like, all of these just look like the same fucking face. It doesn't actually look like you're changing anything. And that's the problem. Like, this feels very pigeonholed appearance-wise. Avatar just look very Asian. Yeah, it just... Okay, let's start out by not wearing any eye makeup. The only makeup I have on, chat, is the bags under my eyes. Highlighter? The fuck are we highlighting? Lipstick? The guy, no. Kedroth. Enthusiastic, optimistic, lighthearted, and helpful. A team player, friendly and somewhat bland. Alright. Alright, look. Fuck off. Okay? I hate this. Where nowadays, when you play a game and it's like, you made a human male. How dare you? How dare you make the most generic thing ever? And it's like, if that's what I want to play, I shouldn't be insulted for it. You should be happy I'm playing your game. Passionate, eager, sometimes too much. Cautious, discreet, soft-spoken, and conflict avoidant. Cynical, provocative, and sneaky. Pragmatic, short-spoken, and even seemingly a bit cold. Curious, even nosy, talkative, and curious about everything. That you said curious twice there. Yeah, we're going with team player, okay? Insult me.
That might be so, but we still haven't worked out what we're supposed to be doing yet.
This is the place. I remember being here.
You must need help with something.
That sounds like me.
Thought I heard movement, maybe saw something, but I wasn't sure.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
This is the place. I remember being here.
No.
That might be so, but we still haven't worked out
Where's
what
my
we're supposed
pitch
to be
modifier
doing.
to make him have a super deep voice or sound like a chipmunk? I can't help but shake the fact that my character just does not look great. Maybe if I... Nope. That's a woman's hair. Nope. Nope. Of course, the one game that actually has a decent ponytail is the game where I'm gonna play a man. There we go, chat. I'll just look like a fashion model. Yeah, hey, like, low-key, I hate my face. And I don't know what to do to change it. There has to be something? There's not. Like, actually kind of insane. Like, I think this is it. I think I have to make myself into a black guy, but then change my skin color. And it still doesn't work. It actually defaults back to, it's like, no, if your skin color is not that level, you now look Asian. This is actually ridiculous. Let's try the white guy face, and let's see if I can get rid of what is clearly like lipstick that I have. How? I am so confused. How is it that the character has like one face? I don't need this to be like perfect to me. But like, this just does not look right at all. I look like a woman. I literally look like a woman. All right. Let's say I make a woman. How's that gonna look? I look like I have a Karen face. All, like, the faces in this game are just fucking terrible. That's really all it is. This has got to be, like, for the amount of detail they gave you, the base restriction, like, literally, I can't even make a character look like that. I would be okay with a character that looked like that. Okay, chat. We're gonna make a cleric. What is he gonna be? Don't ask questions yet. Protector just seems way better. This doesn't even look like a dwarf! Snork? Okay, I dig Snork. Like, I'll be honest, the dwarf face already just looks straight up better. Like, I wish I could have a dwarf head on my human. I can easily see that, like, mods will be the biggest thing where they'll try to mod in new faces just to fix this. Interesting how they went about this with, like, dwarf eyes. They definitely gave them a unique color. God, I'm having an idea. Especially if they're all...
Hello. Nice to meet you.
I thought I heard movement. Maybe saw something, but I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we've got a plan. We've got a plan, chat. How weird that I didn't have a healing cantrip. Be the hardest boss fight in the whole game. No. Trust, chat. Trust. I have a plan. I have a plan. I have a plan. Gain the level 1 benefit of that lineage. Cool. That'd be nice to know what that was. Speed increases up to 35 feet. You know Venomous Strike cantrip. You learn Spell Expeditious Retreat. You have level 2 protection from poison spell. Again, the elves also just look better than the humans. Why does your human character look so fucking bad? That's what I want to know. Devastate humans. Yeah, it's a good way to discourage people from playing a human. Make all humans ugly. Unfortunately, I actually believe that that is probably one of the reasons people didn't pick up this game, is because the characters just don't look good. No freckle. No scar. I should hope she doesn't have a beard, but you know what? They actually would let you. Here, I'm not gonna mess with this. Chat, I've got the perfect name for our sister.
You must need help with something.
Hello? Nice. I thought I heard movement, maybe saw something, but I wasn't sure.
This is the place. I remember being here.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there actually needs to be even more of these. Private letter from Gorm the Wise. How good is the creator? It's okay. Again, I think it's using the 2024 rule set, so there's a little bit of unfamiliarity with me. But it is not doing great right now with the way the characters actually look. Wait. Elf Ancestry gives me a wisdom thing? Okay. Language, you need to be able to speak Elvish, obviously. Giant? I don't know. We're just diversifying. I can pick 3 of these? I'm not wild. Annoying bees. Hell yeah. That touch? Melee hit, yeah. I mean, light might be decent. I have no idea if this is going to be an issue. Let's step through the rest of these. Wait, what was this? Cantrips, now spells. Cantrip learn, cantrip cast, high elf feature. I thought I literally got the firebolt one automatically. Burning hands. Magic missile. Cautious City's laughter. Dramatic orb. Dramatic orb's nice just because. It can be changed. I learn Expeditious Retreat and Long Strider, I believe, on my own. Get one more. Charm Person's not awful. Featherfall's probably also not terrible. Identify is probably what I have to take, though. Okay, chat. Last one. How are we making? We have a cleric, a paladin, a wizard. I'm gonna say a rogue. And of course, a halfling. That's a man? Okay. Don't judge me, chat. The ringlets? Wait, what do you mean the ringlets? Are you talking about hair? I'm not sure which one you mean. That one? Which number? $16? Okay. Do 16. Okay, low key though, no blush. It'd just be looking weird. Can I, like, make this... Yes! Unbelievable, there's no green eyes. This is the closest. Okay, hold on, chat. How am I enjoying the Holy Night collab? It's really good. Like I said, my only issue with it is how much reading there is. I'm basically modeling him after Teemo from League of Legends. Anyways. Yeah, there's no bard, there's no ranger. Like, definitely a bit odd on that front. Oh, wait. Okay, chat. It's either sneaky Colwall, and I thought about this, like, where we could go Teemo, but what if we just did Teemo?
That might be so, but we still haven't worked out what we're supposed to be doing yet.
You must need help with something.
Okay, abilities. Already did that. Oh, wait, what? What the fuck was his background? Oh, hell no. Okay, so spy definitely works. Low life also probably. Yeah, we'll go with spy. I feel like it'll be more fun. Make it slightly less of a dump stat. Yeah, I like that better. Expertise. I feel like acrobatics the better one, but sleight of hand could also be nice. Ah, fuck it. Sleight of hand. Okay, so he's obviously gonna know Halfling. And that's his only language, because he only knows... He only knows his home language, chat. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit of, maybe... Rapier, yeah, I'm just not sure if I go rapier or, light crossbow. I think I go light crossbow. Oh, I get 2 more. Okay. Well, then, obviously, he's gonna know Orc and Gnomish. Okay, so we have Kadroth. Karen and Timu. And we're starting the adventure chat, finally. After an hour of character creation. This is what happens when you let me character create an entire party, though. Yeah, I just assume I'm gonna dual wield with him. Yeah, look at it. We're all a shit family. All of us are somehow related. I think we were adopted. That guy looks better than my character.
What are they doing?
They're moving the statue to the city. They do it every year for the Holy Day of Caladar.
Is this something to do with Marike?
I told you to pay attention during religious studies.
It is indeed the Redeeming Mother, cleansing the condemned before their execution. Even those who fail to redeem themselves in life are forgiven in death. An uncommon representation of our goddess, but fitting for this day of funerals.
About that, we're running a bit late.
Oh yes, I thought I remembered your faces.
We're from the orphanage.
Yes, of course. You're the children Mother Colwell adopted. You must be going to her funeral. Bless her memory. Mahin was a truly righteous woman.
Thank you, Father. Blessed day of Caladar to you.
Marike smile upon you all, Colwells.
Well, if it isn't good old Landry. Couldn't mistake that mop of red hair for anyone else.
I think it's Satan. Okay.
The Lady of Life will guide you.
Okay.
Mother Colwell was a great woman.
Okay, tab shifts me. You know what, chat? Why don't we save here? I'm sorry that we didn't get deeper in. We will continue, because I definitely want to give this game a try. But it is stream in time. So, let me see who all's on. Who all I can give some love to. Again, not really in the way of options. So I'll go ahead and end it here for tonight, chat. And again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around. It's interesting to note that Celeste 2 does appear to be in early access. That was news to me. I thought this game was fully released, but I guess it's taking the Baldur's Gate approach. So maybe they will improve things like the faces and stuff. I hope so, because dear Lord, this does not look pretty in terms of the character creation. But it does show some promise. I am at least interested to see where the story goes and what they're doing. So again, hope to see you guys for more. I will be streaming again tomorrow. We'll see what's up. It may be partial FGO again, just depending on what I need to do for the event. So we'll see. But again, thank you all. I'll see you guys later. Have a great one.